Howdy, Hassan from Master Users here, and I'm back. So I guess you're wondering where I've been for the last week, especially since I was hoping to do some videos in between, especially for Easter. Well, the thing is, during Easter I actually had a really bad head cold. It wasn't COVID. I can stress that out. I did not have COVID-19 or any variant. But yeah. I wasn't feeling the best, and even though I got over it pretty quickly, like only a day and a half, my voice was not really, it wasn't husky, but I was just, it wasn't normal. So I chose to hold off till things got better, but I'm back to normal now. I'm in good condition. I even went bowling early today. Went temping bowling earlier today, so I'm good, I'm fine. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm continuing on with requests from fans, and we are reviewing the 1998 Godzilla movie. Now, I'm sure many of you know when I reviewed Godzilla vs. Kong last year, I'm not really too big on monster movies. I've seen a few, and I really enjoyed Godzilla vs. Kong last year. Though I still stand by my thoughts that the King Kong half was better than the Godzilla half. In terms of the humans, and the mystery, that's what I'm trying to say. But, yeah, and I haven't really watched too many Godzilla movies, and this was the first time I've seen this movie, and oh boy. Yeah, it's not good. However, in fact, I knew going into this isn't a good movie. And even the people who requested me to look at this know it's not a good movie. But they were hoping more that I would rage out over this. I'm not. Because my problem isn't that this is a bad movie. Okay, this is a bad movie. But above all, this is a boring movie. Oh, it's so boring. And those are the hardest movies that you have to get through. I mean, the ones that make you angry, they're going to get on your skin, they're bad, they are bad. But the boring ones are hard to sit through, and okay, we'll continue on with that soon. But anyway, so the story: Godzilla shows up and attacks New York, and lays a nest somewhere. That's it. I know there's a bigger, complex story going on, but the story is just weak, and you don't care about anything. You don't care about any of the characters. I mean, they're just the bland old geeks or jocks or whatever. You're trying to stop Godzilla and find out what he's up to. And the performances, they're not really that good. But I will state this. Matthew Broderick plays the lead in this, and he's the geeky scientist who's trying to prove his theory about what Godzilla's really up to. And Matthew Broderick gets a lot of flack for his performances in bad movies. And I guess in some respects I can see why. Movies like Inspector Gadget and Good Boy are films that I can totally see he did not do a good job in. But I'm not totally... But in this, I think he actually does well with what he is given. I don't know why, but out of all the performances in this film, Broderick seems like the only one who tries to do a good job of what he's given. He plays it the best way he can with this. Yeah, it's not over the top or anything, but he does well with what he's given, and I honestly think he's the best actor in the film. Whether he's the most memorable actor involved in this, well, the actor I remember most for being in this, debatable. But we'll get to that. So what does Godzilla overall look like? Cheap. Bland. Forgettable. I'm serious, Godzilla does not look good in this. I mean, a lot of people know how dated a lot of the effects from the 90s are, but this stands out in particular. Godzilla does not look good. He's just, as I said, bland and, cheap. Bland and cheap. And, I mean, the people who made this movie are the same people who made Independence Day. And Independence Day had some good effects, in particular the blowing up of the White House. But yeah, the effects in this aren't really that good. The explosions are bland. Godzilla's bland. Ugh. And just gotta say that. And going back onto the characters, I mean, the most memorable thing in terms of the actors is that 3 actors from The Simpsons all appear in this movie. Hank Azaria and Harry Shearer are leading actors in this, and Nancy Cartwright is also in it as a assistant to Harry Shearer's character. So yeah, if that's the most memorable thing you can get out of this movie, it's just really. And the directors really and producers of this film really took a jab at 2 of the best, the greatest ever film critics of all time, Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert. They included a character known as Mayor Ebert and his assistant Gene. And it's just a jab at Siskel and Ebert. But the directors probably didn't like the fact that Siskel and Ebert didn't like Independence Day, so they ripped them apart in this film. Even then, they don't actually get attacked by Godzilla. They just, get left around and terrified, Yeah. And now I mean, I don't remember much of the music, but I didn't mind the sound effects. The sound effects are fine. So as I said, the sound effects feel okay. The effects don't back up with this. And above all, as I said, this movie is boring. In fact, it was so boring, I just stopped watching it. I gave up. I did skip ahead to a few scenes, in particular the line of Broderick's, which is a strange line, the fish line. I'm sure the Nostalgia Critic has made many jokes around that and still doesn't get it. And, well, neither do I, but, yeah, I stopped watching it. I could not get through it. The boring movie, when a movie is boring, it's just hard to sit through. So I just stopped. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't get through it. I couldn't watch the full thing. I mean, and there are a number of movies I've walked down on or stopped watching, but I mean, this is the closest. But a lot of them are boring, with the exception of one, which, as you know, is I Am Sam, which is the worst movie I've ever seen. But yeah, this was a slog. Godzilla 98 sucks. It sucks. It is awful. It is bland. And above all, it is boring. If I'm going to watch Godzilla movies nowadays, I try and look at the original Japanese films. And I probably will go back to Godzilla vs. Kong because I still enjoy that. But I'm never going back to this, no doubt. As I said, I don't mind sound effects, and I'm willing to give Matthew Broderick a pass mark for his performance in this, but everything else is just blah. So, and this gets a 3 out of 10 has stars. It's a bad movie, but I don't even think it deserves to be put among the list of my worst ever movies I've ever seen. Well, definitely at least not top 10. Maybe top 20, I'll have to think about it. But, yeah. This is a movie I am happy I'm never going to see again. And as I said to my fans, I'm happy to review stuff that they want. I'm okay with that. And, I think they will be impressed that the fan in question will be probably impressed that I actually, didn't like the movie like he did. But, yeah, it's, I didn't get angry at it, I just got bored at it. So, what's next? Well, there are still a few other things I want to get to, especially a couple more requests. But I think after Godzilla, I need to try and review something that will get me in a good mood, you know. Because, you know, these boring movies take a lot out of you. And, you know, of course there are other things I've got planned coming up. I might actually do some... Actually, I might even try a video game review, actually, now I think about it. And, of course, in 2 weeks' time, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness comes out. And, well, that's a priority watch for me. So, in the meantime, this is Hassan from Massive Reviews out, and I'll see you for my next video. Ciao.